It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl. Hi there, this is Datila with 3 years of wrestling, bringing you the It's Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so Monday Night Raw kicked off with, well, if you were watching, you probably thought it kicked off with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it really did not. It was actually Kevin Owens dressed as Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh my god. This segment was freaking hilarious. I mean, Kevin Owens came out with a bod cap. It hit the Stone Cold 316 shirt, knee braces, shoes, and those blue shorts that Stone Cold wears. He looked exactly... And you get the bod cap. The bod cap is what did it for me. Seriously, like, he looked hilarious. Hilarious, honestly, he really did. This kind of reminded me of Shawn Michaels from 2005 when, actually, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. This reminded me of when The Miz dressed up as The Rock, which I thought was also hilarious. But anywho, like, Kevin Owens was talking about how, like, he was basically, like, using Stone Cold's catchphrases and stuff like that. And then again, Stone Cold's music played. And it reminded me, Michael 101591 saying, this was the best segment of the night with Owens coming out as Austin. I'll admit the bod cap looked pretty bad because you saw pieces of it glued to Owens. Yes, it did, right? But it was still the best part of Raw. This reminded me of 2005 where Shawn Michaels, they were in Canada and he was talking about Brett and then he played Brett's theme. He basically trolled Canada. I thought this was hilarious. This was such a great segment. And to top it off, Kevin Owens asked some guy to throw him beer. I know a couple years ago, WWE released the beer pitcher to Stone Cold, so it was obviously a new guy, but it was still hilarious. He invited him to get in the ring, and he poured the beer on that poor guy. He did the whole Stone Cold thing. It was so hilarious. Like, honestly, this was my favorite part of Raw. Like, complete hilarious segment by Kevin Owens. But I will say, let me see. The segment was a 10 out of 10. Yes, it definitely was. It definitely was. And honestly, like, I am actually pretty excited to see the most stupendous KO show at WrestleMania because Kevin Owens is doing one hell of a job building towards that show. Oh my god. Alrighty. So next we had the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dawgz, with The Miz on commentary. This was okay, but can someone please explain to me why Seth Rollins came out in the middle of this match, cut a promo saying that he's going to do everything to get a match at WrestleMania, and then they cut off the mic. I don't know about you guys. I know they're in Chicago, so it kind of reminded me of the CM Punk pipe bomb in a way, because you know how when CM Punk did the pipe bomb, they cut off the mic and stuff? So that's what it kind of reminded me of, and they were in Chicago. So I wonder if that was kind of like, I don't want to say tribute, but an homage maybe? Or to make fun of that? I don't really know, but it just reminded me of that. But why it happened in the middle of this match, I never know. Let me see. My match. This was Seth wants an opponent, which we all know is Cody, but Cody will appear on Raw next week. That's not what I heard. I heard Cody Rhodes is not scheduled to show up until WrestleMania, and he's going to debut on the Raw after Mania. Alrighty. Oh, and then after the match, The Miz, so the Mysterios win the match, and The Miz takes off Rey Mysterio's mask. So I have to say, this did not surprise me. I mean, I don't know why WWE was acting like we haven't seen Rey Mysterio without a mask, or why it's like the first time Rey Mysterio has been unmasked. Like, he's been unmasked before, and if you Google Rey Mysterio without a mask, you can find pictures of him without a mask. Rey's mask looked pretty cool tonight. Yes, it did, but we've seen him without a mask, so I don't know why they were like thinking it was such a big deal. Then we get a 2-1 handicap match. It was Omos versus Apollo Crews and Commander Azeez. So we actually did get some news on Omos. So according to Fightful Select, Omos planned Mania opponent was former WWE champion Bobby Lashley. But Lashley was injured in January at the Royal Rumble and was expected to miss up to 4 months, and he was written off TV the following month at the Elimination Chamber before he got into the match. So we don't know whose Omos opponent is. Omos is like the Great Khali 2.0, honestly. This match really didn't do it for me. He did cut a promo saying it doesn't matter how big someone is, they're going to be dominated by him either at Raw or at WrestleMania. So, let me see. Michael 101591 says, with that match, Cruz and Commander Azeez should just go to catering. Right? Oh my god. So, yeah, this match didn't do it for me. All right. So then we get AJ Styles segment. Who says that for the past 2 weeks, he's been at home with his wife and his kids, recovering from injury. And he's not here to ask any questions. He just wants answers. He's going to kick Edge's teeth down his throat, and he calls Edge a coward. Then Seth freaking Rollins comes out and interrupts him. And people, okay, so like they were chanting Cody twice during Seth Rollins. They chanted when he was getting interviewed backstage and during this. So Seth says, and I like this, he says, rumors are a lot of fun, but rumors don't make moments. Because he was chanting, because it's rumored that Seth Rollins is going to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And then he says that he was worried about AJ Styles' health and wants AJ Styles to go back home and rest. And as long as AJ Styles says, as long as he's able to walk, he will fight Edge. And then Seth Rollins teases, oh, it would be unfortunate if something happens to you. But Styles doesn't take the bait, and he knows what he's referring to. So then we find out it's going to be AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins in the main event. If Seth Rollins wins, he will replace AJ Styles in the match against Edge. Then we got Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler versus Natty. Prior to this, Queen Zelina and Carmella were arguing backstage. And let me see. That match was the same outcome last week with Rollins. Yeah, definitely. All right. So this match was okay. It wasn't bad, but Shayna Baszler and Natty won, and then Queen Zelina attacked them. Carmella attacked them, and then Queen Zelina attacked with the scepter, and at the end they hugged. So I think it's pretty obvious that Queen Zelina and Carmella are losing their tag belts at WrestleMania. I don't know what I need to say about this match. It didn't do it for me. So then we get a Becky Lynch segment, and she asks herself a question. She says, if you gain the world, what does it mean to gain the world and a profit for man? And match was boring. Yeah, it was. And then she says she went 15 months without holding the Raw title, and no one's been able to beat her for it since. And she says that she would sell her soul to keep her title. And said Bianca didn't mean to hurt her, but she did mean to hurt Bianca, and that's the difference between them. So she says that she doesn't want Bianca to lose her soul. Now, I was at SummerSlam. If you guys have been following me this entire time, like, you guys would know that I was at SummerSlam last year. So I would tell you when Becky came back, huge pop. Like, it was loud. It was loud. I have footage of that. But then they booed her when she beat Bianca in 16 seconds. So I was there. Like, the people were happy to see Becky Lynch back. So it was an interesting promo, but it was just a typical heel promo. Supposedly Balor might be out with an injury. I think it's a kayfabe injury, same as AJ Styles. She's probably not going to show up next week on Raw. Maybe she is. I don't know. Next week is supposed to be the go-home show, and it's supposed to get us excited for the most stupendous WrestleMania, but I really don't know how I feel. So we get Austin Theory versus Finn Balor. I don't know how many times we've seen this match. I have to go through my notes. But the special guest commentator was Pat McAfee. So Pat McAfee added to this match. He kept distracting Austin Theory. which allowed Finn Balor to win. So if it wasn't for that, it would have kind of just been like in every other Austin Theory Finn Balor match that we've seen already. So we had RKBro versus Alpha Academy, which wasn't a bad match. We've seen this match though. Let me see. Michael 101591 saying that Becky looking like Lady Gaga in that outfit tonight. And what was that VR visor? Yeah, definitely. And so Chad Gable basically comes out and says that we witnessed what retribution and that Otis is the new face of vengeance, kind of like Batman. If you haven't seen the Batman, I highly suggest you see it. It's a really great movie. You won't be disappointed, but it's nearly almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 46 minutes. Like I said, it wasn't a bad match. Of course, RK-Bro won. Why would they lose heading into WrestleMania? The Street Profits come out and attack everybody, basically sending a statement to both RK-Bro and Alpha Academy. I like how the Street Profits pretended to aid Riddle. They lifted him up and then they just attacked him at the end. So I thought that was pretty good. Michael 101591 says the Batman is greater than Raw. Then correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I heard wrong. But did they say this match was a tornado intergender match? Or did I hear incorrect? I heard tornado match. But I don't know if it's intergender or just a regular tag match. Because it was Dana Brooke and Reggie versus Akira Tozawa and Tamina. Rinse and repeat with Alpha Academy and RK-Bro. Definitely, I agree. This was okay. The one thing I will say that I liked about this was the fact that Reggie picked up Dana Brooke and Tamina. Akira Tozawa tried to pick up Tamina, but he couldn't. So Tamina had to pick him up, which I thought was funny. And then Dana Brooke and Reggie won this match. So there's nothing more to it. So in the main event, it was AJ Styles versus Seth Freakin Rollins. Remember, if Seth Freakin Rollins won, he would take AJ Styles' place at WrestleMania. So, Seth Rollins going face first into the ring apron. Ouch, that had to hurt. And then Styles would crash into the turnbuckle. Ouch, that must have hurt too. Let me see. Oh God, what an embarrassment. This was the 24/7 title needs to be retired. Like, who finds this fun anymore? Only Vince McMahon finds this funny. Yeah, it's good stuff, pal. I really like that suplex into the corner and the torture rack that AJ Styles did to Seth Rollins. The phenomenal forearms to the super kick for Styles, that was amazing. And buckle bomb to AJ Styles, great. But here's where they have to ruin things. They had Edge come out and hit AJ Styles with the steel chair, causing a disqualification. So AJ Styles ended up winning by DQ. First of all, this was a really great match. I don't know why they had to ruin it with the DQ. But at the end, Seth Rollins started cursing, calling it bull, and he said that Raw isn't going to happen next week until he gets his WrestleMania moment. And then he started destroying the set, which I guess, which wasn't bad. But my thing is, like, I hope we don't get to see this match next week because you guys know how WWE likes to give us repeat matches. Hence, all these repeat matches. So I really hope we don't see Styles versus Seth Rollins again next week. Styles should have won it anyways. Styles would have won it anyways if there wasn't a DQ. Yeah, that's true. He would have won it. I would have liked to see a clean finish. But because, look, this is what I'm talking about. Seth Rollins can make the argument saying, oh, Edge got involved and he could ask for a rematch. That's my thing. I don't get why we had to have the DQ. AJ Styles should have just won clean. But I guess it further adds to Edge and to the AJ Styles storyline. But overall, I thought it was a decent episode for the most part. I really, really like the opening segment with Kevin Owens. That to me was the best part of Raw. I liked the main event. But they kind of had to ruin it with a DQ, in my opinion. So I'm going to, let me see, Michael 101591 says, we will be seeing Styles versus Rollins next week, I bet. Yeah, I bet so too. That's why I did not like the fact that the match ended in DQ. Raw at 10, boring show aside from the opening and the main event. Wow, okay. For me personally, I'm just going to give it a 6 out of 10. Really like the opening. Seth versus Styles was great. There was decent moments and stuff, but overall, could have been better. We'll see how the go home show is next week. But with that, and actually, we actually found out two things. Number one, before I sign off, we finally got a date for Veer. Veer's finally coming to Raw April 4th. That is the Raw after WrestleMania. Really should rejoice. Veer finally found his way to Raw. So he's on his way to Raw. Should be happy. I was worried because he's been lost since October. And we also found out that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar next week are going to be on Raw. I don't know why. I don't know if they were just like, oh crap, we forgot to build this on Raw, or if USA Network demanded that they both be on Raw since they've been doing a lot of stuff on SmackDown. Michael 101591 saying go home show will be a bore cell probably. Veer will be getting 0 reactions. Watch. He should get a pop. I would cheer for Veer. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuing support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.